position are you interviewing for again?
The senior accountant role.
Oh, right. And your name was?
It's on my resume, right in front of you. Look down on your piece of paper there.
Ah, yes. And why do you want to work here? Oh, what was the name of our company again?
Hey, good seeing you again. So I got a weird question for you. Have you ever received any feedback on how you've interviewed someone? My guess is probably you have not. That's not really something that they teach you in school, and that's not something I would assume you probably get reviewed on at work.
Can't believe I didn't learn that at school.
Now, because of this, it's an unlearned skill that you have to gain and experience through practice of interviewing people. Now, myself personally, I've sat through over hundreds of interviews where the client was interviewing a candidate and have conducted over 1,000 interviews myself with candidates, and I found out things that work and things that do work. Generic questions like,
Hey, what is your 5-year plan?
yeah, who's asking those? No one really cares. That candidate's 5 minute plan is figuring out what they're gonna have for lunch. They're not gonna have a 5-year plan. They're gonna probably tell you some answer that you want to hear, but it's not gonna be the truth. So anyways, I put together a short, brief list of 3 things that could help you improve your interviewing skills, and I want to share them with you. And if you have any comments, leave them down below because I most likely will learn something from you as well. So let's get started and take it to the next level. The mindset here is approaching each interview with intentionality and insight. This means staying away from questions like,
Hey, if your office desk was an animal, what type of animal would it be?
or another one,
Hey, if your keyboard had feelings, how would it describe your typing style?
I mean, who thought of these questions anyways? Who's asking them and why? There's no reason to really ask them, at least in my opinion. You have to ask questions of why the candidate is there, what their experience level is, what type of skill sets are they bringing to the table, and figure out how fast they will be able to perform the job with the least amount of training. Those are the questions hiring managers should be caring about, not all the other ones that are irrelevant. To ensure selecting the right candidate, I would recommend asking task-based performance questions. Basically, ask them what type of tasks they've been on are relevant to the job that you're hiring them for, because this is going to be key to understanding if they can do the job that you'll be hiring them for versus not. So the more granular of an answer they give you for the specific task that they worked on, the better, because that means they have worked through the problems, they know the challenges, and know the solutions to that particular task. On the other hand, if a candidate is giving you very vague answers about a project that they worked on, it means that they weren't fully involved in that project or might have had other people work on that project while they took the credit.
You nailed that big project last week. How'd you manage to get everything done?
It was a piece of cake. I just delegated everything to my team.
Wait, you didn't do any of the actual work?
He sat back in his office chair, watched them do all the work, and took all the credit. Who knew being a cheerleader could be so productive?
It's really your job as the hiring manager to really dig deeper into understanding where your candidate has been, the type of projects they worked on, how they can apply their skills of their previous experience to your job, and then end up making that assessment on your own and evaluating the candidate based on their performance and skill sets of their previous roles. Okay, my favorite part are the systems that a candidate has worked with. More likely than not, you're going to be having your candidate work with some type of computer or software, unless you're going to be like a construction worker or a janitor or something else, which in that case, you're going to be using tools. So just replace the word systems with tools. In the spectrum of systems, you're going to be asking your candidate what type of systems they have worked with in the past and what type of modules, because these modules are going to be relevant to their job function at the previous position. So you're going to want to see if those apply to your position as well. In addition, you might want to ask about systems implementation.
Go ahead and turn it on. Now, enter your password.
There we go. Wait for it. And yay! Wow, you did it! Amazing.
Yeah, good job. We all did it as a team.
Sometimes candidates and employees go through implementation processes at their previous companies, but not mention that on their resume, just because they might have been part of the implementation but not executed the implementation. So if they've done that, they probably know how things move around and might be valuable to you if you are going through a systems implementation, that employee might have already some knowledge of how that process works. Anyways, dig deep and find out what their systems process experience is and go from there. I'm sure all the obstacle overcomer interviewers are going to love this question. And I don't mean, don't go asking questions, for example, like, hey, how many gumballs are inside of my car? Where the candidate has never even seen your car and this is the first time meeting them. Don't be asking that, please. What I mean by overcoming obstacles is you want to ask what type of obstacles and what the hardest obstacle the candidate has ever overcome in their career.
I can't believe I have to plug in my own computer at work. Ugh.
This will give you a good understanding of some of the challenges they faced, the obstacles they've overcome, the stress level at which they were at whenever they did it, and how they did it. And you want to assess based on the answer that they give you and figure out if that's going to be relevant to the job you need them to perform. This is a simple one, easy to mess up, but easy if you just stick to the script and ask them about the obstacle specifics.
You know that the client files went missing hours before the audit?
How do you fix that?
Yep, I went back, found the files in the janitor's closet, and completed the audit on time.
Now remember, the devil is in the details. Pay close attention to the specificity of your candidate's responses. Your job is to really get down to the meat and bones of what your candidate is telling you and the responsibilities at their previous positions and for the job that you'll be hiring them for. If they're not going into details, really try to dig deeper. Ask who, what, where, why of that particular project or the thing that they're telling you to really figure out what they've done and how they're going to be able to help you in your job. Now, as a candidate, you probably want to prepare for these types of questions as well. And also, you want to be able to speak of the specifics of your job too, not just gloss over the job responsibilities that you've had with your previous positions. All right, by incorporating these questions into your hiring process, you'll be able to gain valuable insight into your candidate's capabilities, their experience, and their problem-solving skills. This will in turn lead to better hiring decisions and will also align the candidate with your organization and values. You're not just going to be hiring some doofus off the street who gave you a good answer as to how many bubblegum wrappers will fit inside of your shoe. Just because you get along does not mean they're going to be the best candidate for the position. Anyways, hope that's helpful. I would love to hear your comments down in the comment section below. Please subscribe to my next videos and to this channel, hit the bell, and then I hope to see you in the next one. Would love to hear your feedback, and I want to make more videos for you. All right, guys, see you soon.